Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Pros and cons of living in the Philippines. There's a big difference living here in the Philippines compared to this living elsewhere throughout the world. One thing about it too, I just want to say this. I'll start out this video about teeth. Teeth in the Philippines. Boy, it hit me today on how cheap it is to get teeth work done here in the Philippines. For example, Ruth had a problem with one of her teeth was loose, and she has a denture partial plate. And we went to have that looked, and then she had a problem with another tooth. Well, the dentist did the drilling and did this, that, and other. Filled the tooth, did some cleaning, this, that, and other. Fixed her partial plate, realigned. In other words, did a imprint of her teeth. Came back 2 hours later, did all those things. $120 for all. I could not believe it. It's really cheap. And she's really happy. She's excited. She said, my mouth it was just sore, from adjusting from where the plate itself was actually bothering her and things like that. So it's amazing how something like that, it's a big thing. But getting a tooth repaired here, $120. Fees, everything done, partial plate, where they did the made the little paraffin wax. I'm just going to use that as an example, and did the imprint of that to make sure her teeth are aligned properly. So she did that properly. Really nice. So you can't beat that. Well, that's a pro. Con: inflation is rising here. Inflation. We're getting inflation here in the Philippines. Things are costing more. A gallon of milk costs more than it does in the U.S. Eggs are still cheap here, but some of the groceries are costing more than you can actually purchase in the U.S. Cheaper in U.S. on a lot of things. Cheaper rent here. I'm going to just give you advantage, disadvantage. Cheaper rent. That's an advantage. That is a pro. That is a fantastic thing. You can actually live here cheaper as far as rent's concerned. Electricity itself, depending on where you live here in the Philippines, can be cheaper than it is in U.S. And even in U.S., it depends where you live. Like, for example, in the South, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than what you're going to find in the North because you have TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority. Used cars are more expensive here. So that's really a con. So if you want to go buy a used car, it's going to cost you $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. You can actually buy a brand new car for $10,000, $12,000. A brand new, pretty nice car. It's not going to be, this room. The Wigos, you can buy a Wigo and some of the Ford products cheaper than you can. Get some Toyotas, little Nissans out there is pretty cheap. Great culture, wonderful people. You can't beat the culture itself. It's actually wonderful people here. The culture is such a wonderful thing, so that's a pro. You can't beat the culture. You can't beat the wonderful people here. I mean, guy taking me home today after Chicha's dentist appointment, just really a good guy. Probably 65 years old, still driving a tricycle. Just good-natured, happy about life. Just talking to me 100 miles an hour. Beautiful beaches and great islands. That's a pro. Beautiful beaches and great islands out here in the Philippines. Food can be a problem here in the Philippines, is what I mean. We just mentioned that. Beef and things like that. You're not going to find beef and some of the things that you would normally get used to in U.S. If you're a beef eater, be a chicken eater or a fish eater here in the Philippines. You might find a problem finding some of those items because it's actually kind of hard to find good beef here. It really is. Hotter. It's hot here. Is it hotter in the U.S.? No. Is it hotter than some places? Yes. In U.S., yes. If you're coming here and you just come from the north, northeast, northwest, it does not matter. Anywhere in the north, Canada, it's actually going to be hot for you. Will you get hotter? Yes. Can you survive? Yeah, you can survive. There's many places get an air con. Survive that way. Temperature this time of the year is perfect here now because we have a leap year and the weather is really windy and cooler. In 60s, 70 temperature, no humidity. Very nice. Very nice. You cannot own property. That's a con. You cannot own property. That's something that you cannot, as a foreigner, own any kind of property at all. You can lease property, you can borrow it, but you cannot own any property. Now your wife can own property. If she has availability, she's here, she's a citizen here, she can own property. Your wife can own it, but you as an individual cannot own it. Now you can own the house, you can own the things above the ground, you can own the building, the business itself as far as the building. She can own the business. It's because it has to be in her name. There's certain criteria you have to meet, even though they say there's certain things you can do, but really overall, it's the country is for Filipino, and it's understandable. I don't blame them. There's always something for foreigners you can do here in the Philippines. There's always something to do here. There's never a time when there's not something to do. Yeah, there's many festivals or something going on. If you like beaches, if you like fishing, if you like, of course, where we're at, we're limited on the fishing. We can actually go to either coast and go fishing. There's things we can do. There's many parks here. There's many resorts, parks and things like that to do. So there's many things you do. Zip lining. You can ride a bicycle on a wire. You can go parasailing. You can ride caribou. You can do anything. You go-kart racing, rock climbing. They have rocks here. You can go rock climbing. You can actually go hiking. There's many hiking trails. There's many things you can do that way here. Getting somewhere is a problem. Getting somewhere is a problem. That can be a problem. If you have a problem, say, with your legs and you can't really walk long distances, or you really can't do a lot of things, that's a con. You cannot really, if you're going somewhere, say for instance you're just going maybe to visit somewhere 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour away. If you're riding a bus, public transportation, you may find a problem. And the reason for that is you have to ride a tricycle, a bus, or car, and then get back off the bus and ride a tricycle, bus, or car. Sometimes you have to take 2 buses to your destination because not all buses go directly to that destination. So you may have to get off a bus, catch another bus, and we've had to do that. We've actually had to ride a bus one stop, ride another bus to the next stop, and ride another bus to the next stop. So sometimes you have to do that. And sometimes you have to be prepared for the worst. Be prepared to spend a night out. Be prepared to sleep in the airport. Be prepared to sleep at the bus station. Be prepared to sleep at the bus terminal. If you're late at night and that bus is broke down, or there's a problem, or just life, be prepared. And that's happened to me many times. Did I complain? Yeah. Did I get upset? Yeah. What can I do about it? Not one thing I can do about it. I just slept. I slept, took it easy. I found some coffee somewhere. I had to walk half a kilometer. No worries. Got back and did it that way. Communication. Another con would be communication can be a problem here. Communication, sometimes they say that they understand you, but they may not understand you. Some will speak English, some do not speak English. But it is international language here. Most people do speak some type of English. But there are some that do not speak it at all. And you'll find there are kids that are even 20 years old cannot speak it. But you'll find a 10-year-old can speak English 100%. It just depends on the person. It depends if they want to learn. It depends what it is. I talked to a lady today. She's 25. She could not speak any English. Not one thing of English. She's a receptionist at the dentist office. She didn't understand one thing I said. But a 10-year-old came in talking to grandma there, and she understood everything I said. All English. Talked to me in English. Asked me where I was from. The whole 9 yards. That's really something. Actually, something you're going to get said here a lot, quite a bit, is inefficiency on things. Inefficient. Out of stock, sir. Don't have. Sorry, sir, we had that restaurant yesterday. We do not have. Sorry, sir, we used to have that drill. It's out of stock. Well, what can you get it? Yeah, it's on order. Well, when you expect it? I don't know, sir. Well, when can you get it in? I don't know, sir. How can you be out of Big Macs at McDonald's? Sir, we've been out of those for a month. Sorry, sir, ice melted. What do you mean ice melted? I cannot have a sundae? Oh, no, sir, no sundaes, no sundae. Why? Ice melted. What do you mean ice melted? Ice cream melted. Oh, the ice cream melted does not freeze. Yes, sir, ice cream melted does not freeze. Okay, so no sundaes at McDonald's. Yes, sir. Burger King, out of Whoppers. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, out of stock. Oh, okay. Well, what do you have available? Sir, we're out of stock of that also. Listen, do you have any kind of beef at all? Yes, sir, we have one small hamburger type. You can get this particular burger. Okay, sir, we'll get that for you. There are a lot of times you make an order, they'll come out later. Sorry, sir, out of stock. Well, what do you have? Well, we're out of McDonald's, Burger King's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, even Jollibee's sometimes run out of items. We went to Jollibee's one time and they didn't get the truck in. They were out of everything. So I've been fighting that ever since I've been here. How can you be out of Coca-Cola? How can you be out of Sprite? How can you be out of Minute Maid at the same time? Not only that, how can you be out of ice cream and Big Macs at the same time? But they are. Sometimes they run out of French fries. Sometimes. So expect the unexpected. Be prepared. Be flexible. Don't be so hard-headed, right? But it's true. It's true. It's you know, you just have to go with the flow here. Cheaper. Going on a taxi is the most cheapest thing I've ever been on here in the Philippines. You can pay $1, $2, $3 for a taxi ride. It cost me $1, $2 before I even get in a taxi in the U.S. I look at a taxi, it cost me $5 in the U.S. New York City, I'll never forget going to New York City. Forget about it. You know, it's 50, 30, 40, $50 just to get a few miles. So what you have to do is you have to be prepared. Taxis are cheaper. If you're going to do something here, travel around, make sure you get the Grab app. It makes things a lot easier. Of course, I already talked about the dental. Dental's cheaper. Dental is off the roof in USA. Dental's cheaper here. I think I pretty well covered everything. Friendly people, cheaper rides, dental cheaper. Yeah, we covered everything on the list. There's probably 100 more items that I could talk about, but those are the ones just came to my mind. What made me think about it today was dental. Dental today really kind of got me. And then we rode a tricycle home, and it cost me $1.30 to come home. It cost me a lot more today than it normally does because I had to give a little boy that's about 2 years old, riding on a motorcycle with his papa, taking me home, and I wanted him to go get some ice cream. So tricycles are cheap. It costs anywhere from 30 to 40 peso. Me and Ruth pay, that's what we pay. That boy got 50 peso for himself so he can go get some ice cream at 7-Eleven. And the ice cream there is 15 peso for an ice cream cone. So he's going to go get 2, he said, according to his papa, because his papa wants one. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Always watch my videos, and thank you so much, guys, for always coming on. If you have any questions or comments, please just leave them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. And thank you so much.